What makes someone truly attractive, silently, effortlessly, and without saying a single word, after the age of 60? By this stage in life, it's no longer about youth, flawless beauty, or trying to impress anyone. The truth is, as we grow older, something powerful begins to emerge, something far deeper than appearances. Real attraction, the kind that lingers long after you've left the room, has nothing to do with surface-level charm. It's about the energy you carry, the peace in your presence, and the way you make others feel when they're around you. People who are silently irresistible have discovered this. They don't try too hard. They don't chase approval. They don't need to be the loudest voice in the room. Instead, they move with a kind of quiet confidence and self-possession that naturally draws others in. There's a calm, grounded magnetism in them, and you can feel it without them ever needing to say a word. And the most beautiful part? These qualities have nothing to do with age. They aren't tied to how you dress, your social status, or how many people follow you. These traits are timeless. They can be nurtured and developed at any point in your life. Whether you're 60, 70, or 80, you have the ability to become someone who lights up a room, simply by being there. In this video, we're going to explore 7 powerful traits that make a person silently captivating, deeply respected, and quietly unforgettable, especially between the ages of 60 and 80. These are the inner qualities that create a lasting impression and elevate the way people experience your presence. You won't need to speak loudly, seek attention, or prove your worth. These traits speak for you. If you've ever asked yourself, how can I continue to be magnetic, interesting, and deeply valued as I age? You're in the right place. Stay with me until the very end. Because number 7 is something most people overlook entirely, and yet it could be the very thing that changes how the world sees you. Before we begin, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. If you enjoy this video, please type 1 in the comments. If you don't like it, type 0 in the comments to let me know so I can make better videos for you. Now let's get started. Number 1. The quiet confidence that speaks without sound. There's something uniquely magnetic about someone who exudes quiet confidence, an energy that doesn't try to dominate, impress, or compete. It's subtle, yet incredibly powerful. As we age, especially after 60, this kind of confidence becomes even more striking because it's no longer tangled in ego or the desperate desire to be seen. It's not the loud, boastful kind of confidence that demands attention. It's the kind that quietly exists, deeply embedded within you, earned through years of experience, trial and error, heartbreak and joy, success and failure. It's the kind of presence that fills a room without a single word spoken, radiating peace and assurance. Take someone like Michael, a 72-year-old retired architect who now spends his days volunteering at the local library and taking long morning walks with his dog. There's nothing flashy about him. He wears simple clothes, keeps to himself, and rarely interrupts, but there's an undeniable draw to him. Whether he's sitting quietly on a park bench reading a book or offering a simple, thoughtful word of encouragement to a passerby, there's a calm gravity to his presence. People are instinctively pulled toward him, not because he's trying to be someone or impress anyone, but because he's no longer trying. He's simply being. Michael knows who he is. He understands what matters most to him, and he holds those values close, with no need to prove them to anyone. That deep-rooted sense of self is what makes him quietly captivating. His energy doesn't shout, it simply exists, and in that stillness, people sense something profound. Even younger people often find themselves seeking his insight, not because he boasts wisdom, but because he carries it with such natural peace and clarity. Michael doesn't have to say much. His presence alone speaks volumes. Quiet confidence, like Michael's, doesn't shout. It whispers the truths that life has taught. It says, I've weathered storms. I've questioned my worth. I've doubted myself, and I've made peace with all of it. This kind of inner strength can't be faked. It's the product of countless reflections, of letting go of what no longer serves you, and of learning to trust yourself, even in the moments when no one else is watching. It's not about being unafraid, it's about not letting fear shrink your truth. It's not about perfection, it's about being whole. The most quietly attractive people are not flawless. They've simply stopped apologizing for who they are, embracing both their light and their shadows with equal grace. To cultivate this kind of confidence, you must begin by embracing your full story, the moments you're proud of, and even the ones you'd rather forget. Every chapter belongs to you. The more you own your journey, the less you feel the need to explain it. Confidence grows when you stop seeking approval for your past, understanding that every part of your story, even the messy or painful parts, has shaped you into who you are today. Another key aspect of this quiet confidence is the power of presence. Truly confident people don't rush to fill silence. They understand that stillness speaks volumes. By listening more than you speak, taking your time before responding, and maintaining grounded body language, you naturally create an atmosphere of trust and authority. People instinctively feel safe around someone who is calm within themselves. That quiet stillness invites others to slow down, breathe, and trust the energy of the moment. Lastly, move through life with intention. Whether you're walking into a room, greeting someone, or simply going about your day, do it with awareness and steadiness. Let your energy communicate without words, sending the message, "I am enough," without ever needing to say it aloud. Quiet confidence is not about status, looks, or external validation. It's about a deep, unshakable sense of self that no one can give or take away. It's the calm you carry in your chest after a lifetime of learning who you really are. And when you fully embody that kind of presence, when you know who you are and stand firmly in that truth, people don't just notice you, they remember you. The beauty of quiet confidence is that it leaves a lasting impression. It's not loud or flashy, but it lingers. It resonates in the way people talk about you when you're not around. It's the type of energy that can transform any room not by demanding attention, but by quietly commanding respect, and that, perhaps, is the most powerful and captivating force of all. Number 2. The power of saying less and meaning more. In a world that often equates volume with value, there's an undeniable magnetism about those who speak less, but with greater purpose. In a time where constant chatter and noise seem to dominate, there's something profoundly captivating about the person who doesn't feel the need to rush to fill every silence, someone who listens deeply before responding, understanding that well-chosen words can linger far longer than endless talk. This kind of presence is rare, it's refined, and as we age, it becomes even more powerful. With time, we realize that we no longer need to prove our intelligence or worth through excessive talking. Instead, we come to understand that the moments we speak hold far more weight when we choose our words intentionally. Those who are quietly irresistible understand that mystery is a force, and they wield it with grace, leaving people curious, engaged, and often a little in awe. Take Harold, for example, a 79-year-old former journalist who now spends his mornings writing letters to old friends and tending to his garden. Harold is the kind of person who speaks only when he feels it truly matters. He doesn't interrupt. He doesn't try to outshine anyone. He's not a man who dominates the conversation. Instead, he waits for the right moment to share his thoughts. At community gatherings, you'll often find him observing the room in quiet reflection, smiling softly, absorbing everything happening around him but revealing very little of himself in the process. When he does speak, it's with purpose. People lean in, not because his words are loud, but because they are carefully chosen. They know that when Harold speaks, it's something worth hearing. Harold's secret isn't just the wisdom he's acquired over the years, it's his restraint. He's learned that when you say less, what you do say resonates far more. He doesn't feel the need to share every thought, every opinion, or every story. Instead, he gives space for others to contribute, and only when he speaks does he truly offer something meaningful. In this way, Harold embodies the quiet elegance of someone who lets people discover him in layers, inviting connection naturally through curiosity rather than force. That's what makes him memorable, not the volume of his voice, but the depth of his silence. The truth is, people are often drawn not to those who talk the most, but to those who leave others wondering, thinking, and wanting to know more. Silence, when used with intention, can be incredibly magnetic. It suggests a deep sense of self-assurance, self-control, and a rich inner world that is not desperate for validation. It also signals that the person is not rushing to fill the space with noise, but is comfortable in their own thoughts and willing to let others speak first. In a society that is always racing to fill every moment with sound, the person who pauses, who reflects before responding, stands out like a breath of fresh air, giving others permission to do the same. So how do you cultivate this rare and powerful quality of speaking less but meaning more? Start by truly being present when others are speaking. Don't listen just with the intention of responding. Listen to truly understand. People feel seen and valued when they're listened to without interruption, when they can express their thoughts without the fear of being cut off. Your silence in these moments speaks volumes. Second, slow down when you do speak. Give your words room to breathe. Let them settle and make their impact. There's power in a well-placed pause, in giving others the time to absorb what you've just said. Don't rush to fill the silence. Let it carry the weight of your intention. Third, embrace the unknown. You don't have to explain everything. You don't have to have the answers to every question or offer your opinion on every subject. There's an understated beauty in holding some parts of yourself back, not out of fear, but out of intentional choice. This doesn't mean being distant or closed off, but rather understanding the value of mystery and the art of letting things unfold organically. You don't need to be loud to be heard. You don't need to speak often to be remembered. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all, just offering a well-timed glance, a thoughtful pause, or a single sentence that carries the weight of 1,000 words. This is the power of saying less and meaning more. It's timeless. It's graceful. It's one of the most underrated forms of attraction, a form that transcends the superficial and connects deeply with others. The quiet ones, those who speak with purpose, leave an imprint that lingers long after the conversation ends, and that, in itself, is a truly irresistible power. Number 3, the effortless. Elegance of self-respect. There's a subtle yet undeniable magnetism in a person who holds themselves in high regard, a person who carries themselves with dignity, sets boundaries unapologetically, and moves through life with a clear sense of their own worth. This quiet self-respect isn't about arrogance or pride. It's about an internal knowing that you are worthy of the very best that life has to offer. And it's this kind of unspoken confidence that draws people in. Others are naturally drawn to individuals who respect themselves, because such people unknowingly teach others how to treat them with the same level of reverence. Self-respect doesn't manifest in the need to assert dominance or maintain a cold distance. It's not about pushing others away, but rather about knowing exactly what you will and will not accept. It's an elegant dance of valuing your own time, energy, and well-being while maintaining compassion and kindness for others. In a world that constantly pressures us to be agreeable, to say yes even when we're stretched thin, self-respect means resisting the urge to please at the expense of your own peace. People who lack self-respect often find themselves in relationships or situations where they are constantly overextended. They're quick to say yes even when their plate is full. They over-apologize, over-explain, and over-compromise just to keep the peace or avoid conflict. But those who are silently attractive and effortlessly magnetic don't need to prove their worth to anyone. They walk through life with the quiet assurance that they don't owe anyone an explanation for their choices or their worth. Take someone like Claire, a 75-year-old retired school counselor. She spent much of her earlier years trying to please others, always the first to offer help, to listen, to offer advice, even when it came at the cost of her own well-being. But after a pivotal moment in her life, she realized that her energy and time were valuable commodities, and it was time to protect them. She learned to say no when something didn't align with her values, or when her emotional reserves were running low. She stopped feeling guilty for declining invitations or cutting conversations short when they no longer served her. And remarkably, this shift in her behavior made others respect her more. Her boundaries were clear, yet always delivered with grace. What changed for Claire? She no longer felt the need to apologize for her self-care. Instead of over-explaining her reasons for setting limits, she allowed her actions to speak for her. And in doing so, she became more admired, sought after, and valued by the people around her. This quiet strength, the ability to stand firm in your own worth and not bend to external pressures, is magnetic. It demands respect not because it seeks attention, but because it is rooted in deep, unshakable self-awareness. So, how can you embody this quiet elegance in your own life? First, protect your energy. If something or someone drains you, it's perfectly okay to walk away. Your time and emotional bandwidth are precious, and there's no need to expend them on things that leave you feeling depleted. Second, practice saying no without guilt. The most respected individuals don't feel the need to justify their choices or apologize for setting boundaries. They simply know what they need in order to maintain their peace. And finally, carry yourself like someone who knows their own worth. Walk with intention. Speak with clarity. And never, ever feel the need to explain why you deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. Simply expect it because you know that you are worthy of it. People can feel when you respect yourself. It shows in how you carry yourself, in how you navigate difficult conversations, and in how you manage your time. That quiet, unwavering self-respect is not something that can be faked or imitated. It's a presence that naturally radiates from those who truly value themselves, and it's irresistibly attractive. In a world that often thrives on pleasing others, those who know how to protect their own peace without guilt create a magnetic aura that people can't help but admire. Number 4. The irresistible allure of being fully present. In today's fast-paced world where distractions are a constant, be it the pull of our devices, the endless stream of notifications, or the constant worry about what comes next, the most captivating people are those who know how to remain fully present in the moment. These individuals don't rush through interactions or multitask in conversations. They don't let their minds wander or fixate on the next thing they have to do. Instead, they are entirely focused on the person in front of them, making them feel seen, heard, and valued. It's in this presence that true connection is formed, and that's what makes them quietly irresistible. The power of presence lies in its rarity. In a world filled with constant noise, it's increasingly uncommon for someone to truly be with you in the moment, without distractions, without rushing. And because this quality is so rare, it becomes magnetic. People are drawn to those who are fully present because it makes them feel important, understood, and appreciated. Being truly present elevates every interaction, leaving an indelible mark on others. Take someone like Sarah, a 70-year-old former therapist. Whenever she engages in conversation, she's not thinking about her next appointment, or what she's going to say next. She doesn't check her phone or glance at the clock. Instead, she focuses entirely on the person she's speaking with, absorbing their words, emotions, and gestures. She listens with intention, and she isn't afraid of silence. She lets the moment breathe. Sarah's presence has a calming effect on people. They feel heard and understood in a way that's becoming increasingly rare. People seek out her company, not because she demands attention, but because she offers them the invaluable gift of truly being seen. But presence isn't just about being attentive in conversations. It's about how you approach life itself. People who radiate this quality are not just living passively in the background of their own existence. They savor life. They savor the warmth of the sun on their skin, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee, the rustling of leaves on a quiet afternoon. They engage deeply with the world around them, noticing details others might overlook. This mindfulness, this ability to be fully immersed in the present moment, gives them an air of serenity and depth that others naturally gravitate toward. How can you cultivate this powerful presence in your own life? First, minimize distractions. When you're with someone, give them the rare gift of your undivided attention. Put away your phone, stop checking your watch, and resist the urge to think about what's coming next. When you truly listen and engage, people will feel valued in a way that's becoming all too uncommon in today's world. Second, slow down. We live in a society that prizes speed and efficiency, but presence requires you to pause. Savor each moment, whether it's a quiet walk through the park, a conversation with a friend, or even a meal. By slowing down and experiencing life as it unfolds, you deepen your connection to yourself and others. Third, make intentional eye contact and listen with purpose. Eye contact is one of the most powerful ways to convey that you are truly present, and when paired with deep, thoughtful listening, it creates a bond that feels both profound and effortless. When people feel that their words and emotions are being received with genuine care, they can't help but feel drawn to you. Being fully present isn't about doing more. It's about being more. It's about showing up for the moments that matter, whether big or small. The people who master this rare art leave an impression that lingers long after the conversation is ended. They are unforgettable not because of anything flashy or overt, but because they make you feel like you truly matter in that moment, and that kind of presence? It's magnetic, alluring, and utterly irresistible. Number 5. The graceful strength of emotional maturity. As we age, one of the most profoundly attractive qualities a person can possess is emotional maturity. It's the ability to remain calm in the midst of chaos, to stay grounded when others are swept away by drama, and to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Emotionally mature individuals don't get easily offended, nor do they seek validation through conflict. They understand the value of peace and know that they can't control everything around them, but they can certainly control how they respond. What makes emotional maturity so magnetic is its quiet strength. People who possess this trait don't let their emotions dictate their actions. Instead, they lead with wisdom and grace. They understand that not every opinion needs a response, not every disagreement needs to escalate, and not every situation is worth their energy. Their ability to maintain composure, even when faced with difficult circumstances, speaks volumes about their inner strength and self-awareness. It's this capacity to stay balanced and steady in the storm that attracts others. Take someone like Margaret, a 72-year-old retired teacher who spent her life working with students from all walks of life. Margaret has a way of staying calm when others around her are losing their heads. She listens intently when there's conflict, offering no judgment, only thoughtful responses. Her words are always measured, and she rarely, if ever, raises her voice. She's the kind of person people go to when they need to talk things out because she creates a safe, calm space in the middle of a storm. People trust her not just because she's wise, but because her presence radiates stability. But emotional maturity isn't about being emotionless. It's about having emotional awareness. It's about acknowledging and owning your feelings, but not allowing them to control your actions or reactions. It's understanding that being kind doesn't mean being a doormat, and that assertiveness doesn't mean aggression. It's the realization that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness, and that showing emotions doesn't diminish your power, it adds to it. The emotionally mature individual knows how to express their feelings in a healthy, constructive way, making them all the more attractive in both personal and professional relationships. So how can you develop this type of emotional strength? First, take a moment to pause before reacting. In emotionally charged situations, give yourself space to process your feelings before responding. This allows you to approach the situation from a place of clarity rather than impulse. Second, take full ownership of your emotions. Rather than blaming others for how you feel, recognize that your emotions are your responsibility. When you can own your feelings, you communicate with more integrity and others will respect you for it. Third, set healthy emotional boundaries. Not everyone in your life deserves access to your inner world, and it's essential to protect your peace. Know when to step back, when to say no, and when to remove yourself from situations that drain your energy. When you cultivate emotional maturity, people are drawn to you without you even trying. They feel the steadiness of your energy and the safety of your presence. In a world where reactions often run high, your calm, considered approach is both a breath of fresh air and an unspoken source of strength. And it's this emotional equilibrium that makes you truly irresistible, not because you demand attention, but because your emotional maturity speaks volumes, drawing people to you effortlessly. Number 6, the irresistible power of purpose. There's an undeniable magnetism to a person who is still deeply engaged with life, someone who wakes up each day with a sense of purpose and enthusiasm, regardless of their age. And no, purpose isn't defined by running a corporation or chasing grand ambitions. It's about having something in your life that gives you meaning, something that excites you, challenges you, or simply brings you joy. Purpose is not about being productive for the sake of it. It's about living with passion, curiosity, and the willingness to keep evolving, even when the world expects you to slow down. Take someone like Rosa, an 80-year-old artist who didn't pick up a paintbrush until her late 60s. Now every morning she's in her studio immersed in experimenting with colors, techniques, and new ideas that spark her creativity. It's not the typical picture of retirement. Rosa isn't retired from life. Instead, she's as engaged with her work as she was in her youth. And that energy, it's contagious. When people encounter her, they don't see someone slowing down or fading away. They see someone fully alive, fully engaged, and deeply passionate about her craft. And that sense of purpose makes her not only captivating, but inspiring. People with purpose exude an energy that's impossible to ignore. They remind us that life doesn't have a shelf life, and it doesn't stop evolving. They show us that no matter how old we are, there's always room for growth, for discovery, and for reinvention. Their passion acts as a spark that ignites something in others, a reminder that age isn't a limitation. It's just a new chapter waiting to be written. It's that magnetic energy that makes others want to be around them, to draw from their enthusiasm and zest for life. So how can you tap into this kind of irresistible energy and purpose regardless of your age? First, start by asking yourself, what lights me up? What have I always wanted to do but never made time for? Rediscover those passions you may have put on the back burner and reconnect with what makes you feel truly alive. Second, don't wait for permission. Start small, today. Whether it's picking up a new hobby, joining a group that shares your interests, volunteering, or even learning something completely new, the key is to get started. The more you allow yourself to pursue your passions, the more joy and purpose they'll bring into your life. It doesn't have to be monumental. Small, consistent actions are just as powerful in fueling your purpose. Third, surround yourself with people and environments that support and encourage your growth. This can mean joining groups of like-minded individuals, taking a class, or simply spending more time with people who inspire you. Remember, you are never too old to begin again. You're never too old to explore new possibilities or to live a life filled with passion and purpose. Purpose is the spark that lights up your inner world and radiates outwards. It's a force that makes you glow from the inside out, giving you an energy that transcends age, appearance, and circumstance. The beauty of having a purpose is that it makes you timeless. It gives you a glow that no wrinkle can dull and no number can define. And that kind of light, it's undeniably irresistible. Number 7. The subtle magnetism of kindness without expectation. There is a quiet, profound beauty in someone who embodies kindness, not the kind that's done for show or recognition, but the kind that flows naturally from within, given freely without the expectation of anything in return. After 60, kindness becomes more than a gesture. It becomes a way of being. It's no longer performative. It's simply who you are. And the most magnetic thing about this kind of kindness is its authenticity. True kindness isn't loud or dramatic. It doesn't seek applause or attention. It's found in the small, subtle acts, the way you greet a stranger with a warm smile, the way you remember someone's name long after the conversation ends, or the way you give your undivided attention when someone needs to talk. It's the grace in how you treat others, and even more so, in how you speak about them when they're not around. A genuinely kind person doesn't boast about their good deeds. They simply show up time and again, offering their heart without fanfare. Think about someone like Samuel, a 73-year-old man who volunteers at a local shelter each week. He never tells anyone about it. He doesn't seek accolades or recognition. He just shows up quietly, consistently, with a warm cup of coffee, a calm presence, and a willingness to listen. There's no grand display of heroism, no need for the spotlight. He gives not to be praised, but because it's part of who he is. People are naturally drawn to him not because he's trying to stand out, but because in his presence they feel seen, understood, and cared for. The simplicity of his kindness creates a ripple effect that inspires those around him. The most irresistible people are those who, by simply existing, make others feel better about themselves. They don't engage in gossip, they don't judge, and they don't try to outshine anyone. Instead, they focus on shining their light so that others feel comfortable shining theirs too. The beauty of this kind of selflessness is that it never competes, it uplifts. So, how do you cultivate and embody this kind of kindness without expectation? First, give without keeping score. The most profound acts of kindness are those done quietly, without any anticipation of reciprocation. Whether it's a kind word, a thoughtful gesture, or simply showing up for someone in their time of need, do it because it feels right, not because you're looking for something in return. Second, always see the good in people, even when they can't see it in themselves. A small compliment, a gesture of encouragement, or a word of validation can make a lasting impact on someone's life, even if they don't immediately recognize its value. Sometimes people just need to be reminded of their worth, and offering that reminder can leave an imprint on their heart for years to come. Third, forgive quickly and let go of grudges. Holding on to bitterness and resentment only weighs you down. When you forgive, you release yourself from the burden of negativity and make space for peace and love to fill your life. Choosing peace over pride is a powerful act of kindness, not only to others, but to yourself as well. Kindness, when it's genuine, is not weakness, it's strength wrapped in gentleness. It's the quiet power of someone who knows that they don't need to seek validation because their value is inherent. As you age, this kind of kindness only deepens, becoming a defining feature of your beauty, your presence, and your impact. It doesn't fade with time, it lingers in the memories of those you've touched, long after the moment has passed. True kindness leaves a lasting imprint. It doesn't demand attention, yet it makes you unforgettable. And when you give it freely without expectation, it becomes an aura that people are drawn to, a magnetic force that will always make you stand out in the very best way. So, if you've ever wondered what makes someone truly captivating after 60, it's not about the clothes you wear, the external beauty, or the charm you possess. It's about something far deeper, the quiet confidence that radiates from within, the intentional presence that makes others feel seen, the unwavering self-respect that commands admiration, the emotional grace that calms and inspires, and the fire of purpose that continues to burn bright. It's these qualities that make people lean in, look at you, and think, there's something about them. You don't need to utter a single word to leave an impression. All you need is to live fully, love deeply, and carry yourself with the kind of energy that makes others feel truly fortunate to share space with you. It's the kind of magnetism that doesn't demand attention, but draws it effortlessly. If any part of this resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. And just in case no one has reminded you today, you are already enough. Just as you are. Keep going, keep glowing. Your light is undeniable.